Hey everybody, it's Alex Abrahantes filling in for Tony Schiavone, who unfortunately, unceremoniously got invited to a super kick party. That was pretty brutal. That was awful. Tony Schiavone's a great guy. Really wish that didn't happen. Not sure what's going on with the Young Bucks. They did mention on Twitter that they already PayPal'd Tony Khan the money, I guess, for what they did to Tony this week. So I don't know whether to commend them for that, for their forward thinking, or what. But regardless, once we get an update from Tony, we'll make sure to let you know. So I am here. We're going to talk about everything that happened tonight because it was ultra competitive. But before I do that, let me start giving you guys some shout outs. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. What a night. It was so awesome, with the exception, obviously, of Tony getting super kicked. Unless you don't like Tony, and then in which case you probably enjoyed it, but that's a whole other story. We love Tony. All right, let's see. Mike G, PayPal. Yeah, I know, right? Seriously. Why not Apple Pay or Zelle? But PayPal, I guess that's what the Bucks like to use now. All right, so Andrew Clark, what's going on? Hey, Chuck. What is this? This is the post show to Dynamite. Yeah, Tony unfortunately can't be here. Daniel, hey, how are you? Let's see here. Stacy, hello. Shannon, hello. Christopher Chavez, thoughts on Sammy Guevara? Sammy, you know what? He's a bit of a pain in the butt, but the guy's awesome in the ring, hands down. You can't really dispute that. Let's see. Tony should ground the Bucks and take their Xbox. Jonathan, listen, I agree with you. That might be something that might happen here in the future. Hey, hello, Sean. Tom. Let's see. Ray, how are you? Aaron Johnson, I'm a big fan of All Elite. Thank you so much. Shane, this is a great show. Thanks so much, Shane. Appreciate that. And let's see, a couple more, and then we'll jump right into the show. Mike Lane, awesome show tonight. Yeah, listen, I completely agree with you. I was talking to Dasha, if you caught us on the pre-show, and I'd mentioned I had a really good feeling that tonight was just going to be a night that was going to be ultra competitive in terms of the in-ring competition. And boy, did it deliver. Diamante Marbury, how are you? I'm doing well. Thanks so much. Is Ricky okay? I don't know, but let's talk about that because that's how we started the show. Of course, absolute Ricky Starks, part of Team Taz, taking on Darby Allin. We mentioned the bad blood that these two have just been at each other's throat for the past several months, and it reached a boiling point. Man, that match was awesome. It could have really gone either way. What an incredible night of action these two gave us. I personally would love to see a rematch. How about you guys? Would you like to see a rematch? I'd love to see like a 2 out of 3 falls match with Ricky Starks or and Darby Allin. Let's see here. What do you guys think? Oh, hey, Brandon. Big fan of Spanglish segment on BT. Thanks so much. Really appreciate that. Oh, Darish, thank you so much. Appreciate the comments. Big FTR fan here in 802 Blues. Anna J needs to marry my son. Well, listen, Suspiro, we can talk about that. I'll have a chat with perhaps Silver and Reynolds. They can bring it up the flagpole, see what Mr. Brody Lee thinks. Anything's possible, I think, when it comes to Dark Order, so never rule it out. Speak some Spanglish. Okay, would you like un hamburger or un hot dog, perhaps? I'm hungry. I'm just thinking food right now. All right, so that was great. Let's talk about the fact that Dasha got some words with the American Nightmare Cody. We heard the fact that he obviously is part of this great brand new show, which is really cool with Snoop Dogg, and it's an awesome talent show. But then he said no to the dog collar match, which I figured he was going to come out here and say automatically yes. But listen, it's Mr. Brody Lee, right? What do you guys think about this? I mean, personally, I can't wait to see this match. This is the first time that we're going to have this on Dynamite, a dog collar match. And if you've never seen one, here's how it works. Essentially, it's very straightforward and simple. Mr. Brody Lee's going to have a dog collar on. Cody's going to have a dog collar on. They're attached via neck with a chain, and it's going to be brutal. This is probably one of the most brutal matches that we will ever have here in AEW. But who do you think has the advantage of this? Do you think that Cody, perhaps coming back, he's obviously very angry, but is he at 100%? Is he going to have the advantage, or is it going to be Mr. Brody Lee? So let me see what you guys are thinking. Okay, Lugnuts, do you think that Mr. Brody Lee's going to regret next week big time? Well, perhaps the TNT Championship is on the line. It's always fun when the title's on the line, right? Let's see here. I can't wait either. I hope that Cody wins. Well, we'll see. We'll see if Cody can regain his TNT Championship. Let's see here. Cody versus Mr. Brody Lee. It's going to be a nasty one. Yeah, I agree. I mean, dog collar match. There's no way this is going to be pretty. It's going to be brutal. And, Mr. Brody Lee and the Dark Order, they may have gone a little bit too far with how they handled that match at the end where Mr. Brody Lee defeated Cody in just about 3 minutes. They might have taken a little bit too far. So I definitely think Cody's got revenge on the mind. But wasn't Dusty Rhodes in a dog collar match? Yes, he was. So Cody, I'm sure, has studied that match or is studying that match very intensely for his match next week. So the TNT Championship's on the line. I think they're going to pull out all the stops next week. All right, so let's move on and talk about another classic match tonight. FTR versus SCU. OMG. It was back and forth. It was awesome. Many times throughout that course of the match, I thought we were going to have new tag team champions in SCU. Scorpio Sky was incredible with these technical reversals, trying to pin Cash Wheeler. But ultimately, Tully Blanchard, the experience comes into play, and Cash Wheeler finds a way to pin Scorpio Sky. I love that match. What do you guys think about the tag title match? I'd love to hear what you think. And then also, what's going on between FTR and the Best Friends? Seems like FTR is disrespecting the Best Friends a little bit. That would be a really good match in the future. I'd personally like to see that. But what did you guys think about that? Tully needs to add another person to a stable to make the new Four Horsemen. James Allen, you never know. Tully is technically managing Sean Spears, right? So, and then Sean Spears gave SCU kind of a weird look tonight. I don't know what's going on, but listen, pretty impressive. Sean Spears is an incredible athlete. Ever since he joined forces with Tully Blanchard, his career has really taken a turn for the better, especially with that black glove. And whatever that object is that Tully keeps handing him, it seems to kind of help him out every time that he's competing in the ring. Okay, let's see. What else do you got here? Denisha, John Moxley's my champ forever. Yep. Okay, what is it? D-Lighty-G? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Still upset Dustin didn't win the title, the TNT title. Boy, wasn't that a great match, too? Boy, Dustin Rhodes, he just keeps getting better. I don't understand how he does it, but the guy just keeps getting better and better and better, and that was an awesome match with him and Mr. Brody Lee a couple weeks ago for the TNT Championship. Jurassic Express needs a title run. I'd like to see Jurassic Express take on FTR again. I think Jurassic Express is on the cusp of really kind of breaking through. They've shown us that they're capable of having incredible matches pretty much with anybody at this point in time. So yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. Let's see. See Richard Edwards. I want to see the Best Friends wearing gold. Well, perhaps in the future they will. How brutal was that parking lot brawl that they had with Santana and Ortiz just a couple weeks ago on Dynamite? It was insane. So they can definitely hang with just about anyone. All right, let's see what else is going on. Congrats on Jericho's 30 years. Yeah, we're going to talk about that because that's going to happen next week. But let's talk about Jericho because he took on Isaiah Cassidy, one half of Private Party. And I don't think Jericho expected what he got in this particular matchup, right? Isaiah really took Jericho to the limit. There are many times where we thought we were going to witness an upset. Isaiah Cassidy, I think this is his best match thus far ever. He stepped up to the plate to take on a legend like Chris Jericho, and he really showed us that he can shine. So big ups to Isaiah Cassidy. He did an awesome job. But in the end, it was Chris Jericho with, of course, the Judas effect that just completely knocked him out. And that was awesome. And then, of course, we saw what happened with Chaos Theory, which is Luther and Serpentico outside, kind of battling with Jericho and Hager. We're going to talk about that because that's pretty interesting, an interesting development there in just a couple of minutes here. Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida are my favorite women's tag team. I hope AEW has women tag belts. Hey, you never know, but let me tell you, I love these two. I love the fact that Thunder Rosa is coming in here defending her NWA championship. What do you guys think about that? And obviously, Shida's just incredible on another level. Two incredible champions, no doubt about it. All right, let's see here. What else do we got here? Prabish, when will AEW air in India? I'm so sorry, don't know that. If I did, I'd happily share it with you, but obviously keep an eye on social media as we announce all sorts of different things there from time to time. Let's see. What else do we got? Serena, the parking lot brawl was insane. Best Friends vs. Santana was iconic. Yeah, listen, no doubt about it. It was, if you haven't seen it, you got to find a way to watch this match. It was a masterpiece. There's no doubt about it. All right. Let's see here. Who else do we have here? Okay. Jericho needs another title run. Well, listen, him and Jake Hager, they're focusing their efforts right now on the tag team titles. So we're going to see what happens there. But let's change gears and talk about the fact that we all know that Kip Sabian is going to be marrying Penelope Ford, and the best man, Miro, is in charge of throwing him a bachelor party. And we got a sneak peek as to what the bachelor party is going to look like, or at least Miro's attempt to throw a bachelor party. He knows it has to be good. And we got to see some of the wheels turning in Miro's mind. So I'm really kind of curious as to what's going to happen here. But knowing Miro, he's going to pull out all the stops to make sure this is a great party. So we got to make sure to stay tuned regarding that. Let's talk about also the fact that Dr. Britt Baker returned. Listen, personally, I mean, she's been gone from in-ring competition for several months. We saw her in her dentist office, obviously taking on Big Swole. That didn't go her way, per se. However, in-ring competition, we haven't seen her competing here on Dynamite in several months, and I think she looked better than ever. Red Velvet, by the way, I think is an incredible athlete. I think that she's awesome. Definitely want to see more of her here. We've seen her plenty on Dark, but it was great seeing her on Dynamite. I think she's a great competitor, but unfortunately, she suffered the wrath of the Doctor. And, it was great to see Britt back in the ring, whether you love her or you hate her. She's an incredible competitor. All right, so let's see what else you got here. Great to see Britt Baker back in the ring. I agree with you. Let's see here. Sorry, guys, the questions and comments scroll rather quickly, so I want to make sure to get to the many of you who have questions here. Sammy G deserves a title shot. Yeah, I agree with that. Why not? Sammy's a great competitor. I think he does deserve a title shot, no doubt about it. And he's proven that he can hang with pretty much anybody in the ring. So there's no doubt about that. Do you think MJF will join the Inner Circle? Well, why don't we talk about that? Because that was quite interesting, right? So MJF kind of barges into the Inner Circle locker room and kind of has some complimentary words for Chris Jericho, congratulating him on his victory, and then has jackets for the Inner Circle for everybody but Sammy Guevara. Do you think he did that on purpose? I'm still on the fence. I don't trust MJF. I don't know what his motives are. Listen, Chris Jericho, probably one of the most brilliant minds in the industry, knows all the tricks of the trade. I'm sure if something's going on with MJF, he could see through it, but he seemed to be rather impressed with MJF. Let's see. What do you guys think? You think MJF is up to no good? Let's see. Angie is good. You think MJF's good on his own? Okay. All right. I wonder, because he was kind of, I don't know, perhaps looking for a spot in the Inner Circle. I don't know. All right. We'll have to see what happens there. Let's see. What else? Tony Schiavone needs an appointment to see Dr. Britt Baker after joining the Superkick Party. I couldn't agree more. Listen, it's a good thing that Tony Schiavone has a best friend named Dr. Britt Baker. She can probably make an exception, get him in right away. It's good to know people. It's good to know doctors. It's good for Tony Schiavone. Let's hope he gets the help that he needs quickly. All right, let's see here. MJF sucks. Okay, listen, hey, I'm not going to disagree with you, Mystery Todd Simmons. I think a lot of people agree with you. MJF certainly has a big mouth, but listen, at the end of the day, he's a great competitor. So you got to give him that. I mean, he's only lost one match here in AEW. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? What else happened tonight? Well, how about the fact that Eddie Kingston, and we were wondering who exactly was going to be the man that Eddie Kingston was going to have challenge Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. It ultimately ended up being the Butcher. Now, a lot of people questioned whether this was smart because Jon Moxley didn't have to defend the AEW Championship, but he did because he's a fighting champion, and that's what he does. And quite frankly, I don't think Jon Moxley cares who he defends the championship against. He just wants competition and to continue to prove that he's the absolute best. So ultimately, it ended up being the Butcher, which, were you guys impressed by the Butcher? Because I am. I completely was. We've seen him in competitions, in tag team competition. We've never seen him in singles competition here in AEW. This was the first time that he wrestled as a singles competitor, and I can tell you it is a significantly different experience wrestling as a singles competitor and then wrestling as a tag team competitor. When you're part of a tag team and you're conditioned to be a part of a tag team, you always have somebody that you can tag out to. You always have somebody kind of watching your back. You always have somebody you can strategize with. But when you're in the ring one-on-one, it's just you and that other person, and you got to make sure that you can hang. And boy, did the Butcher ever deliver, in my opinion. He went in with a great strategy, and I have to imagine that was part of Eddie Kingston, because obviously the guy has a great mind for the business, has been around for 18 years, so he certainly gave the Butcher the information from what he learned last week against Jon Moxley, and the Butcher implemented the plan. But at the end of the day, Jon Moxley continues to find a way after a paradigm shift, and of course that Bulldog submission that he's got. That Bulldog choke, that was pretty impressive. And Moxley just wants to choke people out. Yep, I agree with you. I'm sorry, I lost your name here because it's going by so quick. But I agree with you. I think he just wants to continue to prove that he's the best. All right, so Bryce, you don't think that the Lucha Brothers need Eddie Kingston? Okay, perfectly acceptable there. I mean, Lucha Brothers are incredible by themselves. With Eddie Kingston, I personally think they're just a little bit more dangerous. Let's see here. Sammy isn't a Spanish god. He can't even speak Spanish. Okay, Baltazar. Well, yeah, I listen. I've tried to have multiple conversations with Sammy, and he keeps blowing me off in Spanish. So the jury's still out on that as well. Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah, let's talk about the fact that when Cody came out, I just want to mention really quickly that brawl between not only obviously the Dark Order and Cody and everybody else, but Brandy and Anna Jay. Did you guys see the match between Brandy and Anna Jay on Dark a couple of weeks ago? That was awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing a rematch between these two. I mean, it's just getting more vicious and more brutal between these two and more personal. But personally, I'd love to see it. Did you guys see that match? And are you looking forward to a rematch? And is little Brand going to get involved? And by the way, does Brandy, when Brandy brings out little Brand, is that like a handicap match? Is that like 2 against 1? I'm just wondering. Let's see here. The brawl was insane. It was pretty brutal. Let's see. Cody might join the Dark Order. Wow. That'd be kind of interesting. I mean, listen, they have bad blood, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. And yes, the Dark Order is definitely, Marcus, a force to be reckoned with here in AEW. I mean, listen, they just keep getting better and better. I love personally the combination of 5 and 10. If you haven't had a chance to see them in tag team action, boy, they're great. Of course, we saw 10 in action against Orange Cassidy tonight, and he looked great. But Orange Cassidy's really stepped it up. I mean, it's amazing how incredible in this short amount of time, he's just gone from 0 to 60 in terms of being such a laid-back, cool character, which he still is. But boy, has he ever stepped up his in-ring game and picked up a really impressive victory against 10. I also really appreciate the combination of Silver and Reynolds. They just keep getting better and better. And of course, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, which I personally think are future AEW tag team champions. They are awesome. So any kind of tag combination of the Dark Order, I think is pretty impressive. Giovanni, you think Cody is going to become a new champ? All right, that sounds good. DeMonte, Dark Order rules. Okay. C. Richard Edwards, Johnny Hungry. Yeah, he is always hungry. What's up with that? If you watch PTE every Mondays, you'll know that that's the case there. Let's see. My birthday's on the anniversary show. Kaylee. All right. Well, happy birthday. October 14th, our 1-year anniversary of Dynamite. Can you guys believe it's been a year of AEW Dynamite? Okay. Michelle, I haven't seen the show yet tonight. Who's in the dog collar match? Well, Cody has accepted the challenge of the TNT champion, Mr. Brody Lee, for a dog collar match. That's going to be brutal. It's going to happen next week. So why don't we talk about some of the matches that are going to take place next week? This is pretty awesome. We've got an insane show planned, of course, next week. So we already know for the TNT Championship, Mr. Brody Lee is going to be defending against Cody in that dog collar match. I can't wait to see this. It's not going to be for the faint of heart. It's going to be downright dirty. It's going to be nasty. These two really despise each other. So there's no doubt about that. How about the fact that for the first time ever, the FTW Championship is going to be defended? Brian Cage is going to be taking on Will Hobbs, who we saw earlier tonight. Will Hobbs take out Brian Cage as he was trying to get involved in the Darby Allin and Ricky Starks match. So I really am looking forward to seeing what Will Hobbs can do. We've seen him on Dark. He's uber impressive. He's definitely a star on the rise. And can you imagine him and Brian Cage going to battle? Well, I guess we don't have to imagine it. We're going to see it next week for the FTW Championship, and perhaps we can see a brand new FTW champ next week. All right, couple more comments here, and then we'll talk about the big tag team match, which is now officially signed for next week. Will Hobbs got my attention. Cage is a machine, and he'll beat Hobbs. Daniel, okay. Let's see, Christy, so you're a Will Hobbs fan. Yeah, it's easy to become a Will Hobbs fan. He's really been impressive. He's got an amazing spine buster for sure. Let's see. What else do we have here? Willpower could be the new champion. Yep, I agree. Ty Conte and Dark Order colors tonight. Oh, I didn't notice that. Wow, that's a really good catch. We know that she's friends with Anna Jay. They handed her a contract. Apparently, she's still looking it over. We have no idea what's going on, so that's something to keep an eye on for sure. Is Tony okay? Guy, we're still trying to find out. Obviously, he took a pretty brutal super kick and then obviously landed on the floor. Unfortunately, he can't be here, hence why I'm stepping in to do the post show here tonight. But hopefully, everything will be okay, and he'll be back up and running for next week's Dynamite, and he'll be able to come back and do the post show for you guys. Kenny versus Hangman in the title contender tournament finale. Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that. How cool is that? So now we know that there's going to be an 8-man tournament, and it's a single elimination tournament. The finals are going to take place at our next pay-per-view event, November 7th, Full Gear. And that's going to be to determine who the new number one contender is going to be. So that's great. That's something really exciting to look forward to. Can't wait for Full Gear, our next pay-per-view. It's right around the corner. This is awesome. All Out was great. Full Gear is going to be awesome. Can't wait. All right. So let's talk about the match that we now know is official for next week. It's Chaos Project, which is Serpentico and Luther taking on the team of Le Champion, the Demo God, Chris Jericho, and Jake Hager. Listen, if you have not seen Chaos Project in action, boy, they are impressive. Like each and every week, I see them on Dark, and they just keep getting better and better. Luther is out of his mind, like absolutely out of his mind, like 24/7. But him and Serpentico find a way to work together so well. It's like Luther just keeps using Serpentico as a weapon, and it works. So if you haven't had a chance to see them, go back on YouTube, check out Dark, check out their matches. I think you're going to be uber impressed. And I think Chris Jericho and Jake Hager are going to have a really tough week next week, even though we are celebrating 30 years of Jericho. That's insane and awesome at the same time. I mean, listen, Chris Jericho, the man of reinvention, the man of many monikers. I like to call him the man with a Midas touch because everything he touches turns into gold. We're going to celebrate 30 years of Jericho next week on Dynamite. So it'll be pretty awesome. So a couple more comments, and then we will wrap it up for tonight. All right, Derek. Alex would like to know your thoughts on Colt Cabana in the Dark Order. He and Evil Uno make another great combo in this stable. Yes, but there's been a little problem with Colt Cabana lately. I'm not sure if he's perhaps not taking instruction correctly from the Dark Order, especially Evil Uno, who's trying to help him out, right? But I don't know. There's just something not right, something not clicking there. I'm hoping that he can get back on track, because when he first, and I talked to Colt, he says he's not necessarily part of the Dark Order. It's kind of like a trial. He's giving it a shot and seeing where it goes. So, but when he got on board or tried this out, he had found tons of success. So hopefully he can find that again. But right now it's just a little complicated. It's like, it's a complicated relationship right now with Colt and the Dark Order. All right. So let's see what else you guys got before we sign off here for tonight. Any other questions that I can answer for you? Otherwise, I want to make sure to mention, of course, every Monday, make sure to check out Being the Elite, which is always a blast. And, of course, AEW Dark on Tuesdays, bringing you some great in-ring action. Dynamite on Wednesdays. It's always fun when we have Dark and followed by Dynamite, right? And then, of course, we've got Full Gear coming up on November 7th. All right, couple more questions here. When do you see Cutler or Avalon getting a clean win over each other? Listen, I don't know. These guys have been at it for weeks, and they cannot seem to find success. Obviously, last time it was, a double count out. I hope these guys can get on the same page, because really they have improved. They've gotten so much better, and it's almost like I said with Chaos Project, they get better every time, but they just have not found the right success, the right key to success. But they're uber talented individuals. So hopefully someday one of them will get a win. All right, guys. So a little bit of the bubbly, celebrating 30 years of Jericho. Absolutely. So that's next week. So anyway, guys, I think that's about it. How's Lance Archer doing? Well, by the way, we know Lance Archer is going to be taking on Jon Moxley on the anniversary show, October 14th, for the AEW Championship. Can't wait to see that match. Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk monster, is obviously super impressive, and Jon Moxley seems to be unstoppable as well. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens, but that's going to be a match that a lot of people are looking forward to, as am I. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed Dynamite tonight. I really think it was an awesome show, and I hope you had a great time here on the post show. So we will see you again next week, of course, on the pre-show before Dynamite, and then, of course, live with 30 years of Jericho. So I hope everybody has a great night. Stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you next week.